What's up, y'all? It's your boy Ruben. You know what it is. New week, new video. And I'm definitely ready to hit the ground running on this NBA stuff. And definitely got to talk some LA Lakers and Mr. LeBron. And as you probably read in the caption or the title, I'm going to just make this as simplistic as I can because I don't want to get too convoluted in the argument, right? As you read in the title, I'm just gonna list some reasons why LeBron James will never be the GOAT. And I thought it was fitting to just talk about it on the heels of watching the Lakers take one of the worst losses ever by losing to the Pelicans in the fashion that they lost. The other day, they waived DeAndre Jordan yesterday. I don't even know why he was even getting run. It was an ugly game. It was one of the worst games in terms of just effort, energy, things that you would never see a Michael Jordan team suffer from. And Michael Jordan played for the Wizards, to keep that in perspective. All right. So, with that being said, LeBron James is one of the greatest players of all time. And if anybody knows me, they know that my favorite player all time was Kobe Bryant. And for years, when Kobe Bryant won his 5 rings, when they, did the first three-peat down to watching him basically mimic everything Jordan, I just knew like we were witnessing probably the greatest player of all time. I just needed him to succeed enough to make that justification. And as much as I love Kobe Bryant, ultimately he didn't come through. And I think personally, I think the injuries kind of just cut his career short. Not that he had a short career, but that I think once he was never quite the same once he tore that Achilles, and then we all know he's had long stints with knee issues and things like that, and I think it just cut him short from greatness, right? And this isn't a Kobe Bryant video, so ultimately the point is Kobe Bryant fell short. And I couldn't give him that tag. So I bring that up because I just wanted to point out why I'm not being biased about this. Michael Jordan was never my guy. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not a Michael Jordan fan. I highly respect him. I am a fan of Michael Jordan, but not it's more in a respectful way. It wasn't that, oh my God, I love me some Jordan. I'm a Knicks fan, so Michael Jordan terrorized my Knicks all through the 90s. So, just to keep that in perspective. With that being said, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. And personally, I don't even think it's close. And the reason I think as we get further away from the 90s, the reason it's even a debate that people think is close is because people are getting really hung up on the stats and things like that. And I've tried to argue this as simplistically as possible because it's one of those things I feel like you had to be there. Like you had to see it to understand. When Michael Jordan was on the court, you just knew. Like when LeBron's on the court, it's kind of like, he could be the greatest. Like I never felt like you actually saw it though, right? Like when LeBron's all said and done, I think we're going to look back at his career and think of like what could have been as more so than what actually happened. And I think what happens is a lot of people, especially these younger generation of people, are looking at it through the lens of like it's a game of 2K, right? So and what I mean by that is LeBron James is a creative character. You're not supposed to be able to be 6'9", 260 and move in the fashion that he moves. It's something that's very unique. We haven't seen that before. He is maybe the most complete overall player we've seen, right? But that doesn't make you the greatest player. I don't understand how anybody can go to 10 finals and lose 6 of them and be considered the greatest player. It's not just a rings thing, but you can't go to 10 finals and lose 6 of them. He literally has to win 2 more titles just to be a 500 player in the finals. When Jordan, and granted, LeBron had suffered more scrutiny coming in because everybody thought this dude was going to be the greatest. And, granted, there was pressure there, but that even Jordan didn't have. But what I tell people is Michael Jordan, when he first stepped on the court, he wasn't Michael Jordan. He wasn't widely regarded as the greatest player of all time. The second he stepped on the court, he sort of became that. And there's something to be said about paying your dues. And I'm not saying LeBron James didn't. So when people bring up, oh, well, he lost to Boston and he lost to Detroit and yada, yada, yada earlier in his career, I tell people Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan because of that. He wasn't always Michael Jordan, but once he became the greatest player of all time, like you just knew it when you saw it, and you knew he wasn't going to lose. We never saw that kind of sustained success from LeBron James. LeBron James is a glorified point guard. He's more Magic Johnson than anything. All right, Magic Johnson's got 5 rings, and people bring up like, look at the teams are left in disarray when LeBron leaves. Well, I would argue if you take a great point guard from any team, they're going to look pretty weird or bad or even, right? Jason Kidd, he has sort of the same effect on teams that Jason Kidd had in his prime. Jason Kidd took the Nets to the finals twice. He's been to the finals 3 times, right? CP3, look what he's done for Phoenix. They just went to the finals, and Phoenix could have made the playoffs. Look what I'm pretty sure Houston might have made the finals had CP3 not got hurt. They had the Golden State Warriors on the ropes when he was with Houston with James Harden. You know, just to keep that in perspective. Look what Steve Nash did for Phoenix. You know, look at what these great point guards do for their team. A great point, like if you want to be successful, the fastest way to be successful is to get you a great point guard. But that's not the most important factor, okay? Ultimately, the most important factor is closing the damn game. And those are things that LeBron just constantly falls short on. Again, he's lost 6 finals, and you can point out, okay, well, he played Golden State, he played whoever and whatnot, okay? Michael Jordan played in an era where there was literally greater parity in the league. LeBron James was in what was considered the Eastern Conference for years. The best team that he beat was the Big 3 Celtics, and that was after he left Cleveland, went to Miami, joined a top 3 player and another Dream Team player. And Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett were on their last legs. Their Big 3 was on their last legs. It took that for him to win. And more power to him. But guys, come on. LeBron James lost to Dirk and Jason Terry and JJ Barea. Okay, we watched him freeze. If not for Ray Allen, he loses another finals. If not for Kyrie, he loses that finals. And, you know, ultimately, if it wasn't for other guys closing for him, he probably only has 2 finals. I can even make the argument that we shouldn't even count the bubble finals, but unfortunately it happened. So there's too much to debate when it comes to LeBron James to ever consider him the greatest of all time, right? And that, you know, I'll save this for another video. I don't put him beyond Kobe. Just saying, you know, I saw Kobe Bryant beat that same Celtics team when that Celtics team was worthy of being in the finals. That Celtics team actually beat the Lakers prior. And I saw Kobe Bryant do whatever it took to get that team to the finish line and make sure that they don't lose to them again. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's my opinion. You guys can feel free to chime in. That's what this video is for. But Michael Jordan will forever be the GOAT. 6 for 6 without a game 7, game winners galore. Karl Malone, never saw a ring. Charles Barkley doesn't get a ring. Shaq and Penny couldn't eat in the East because of Jordan. I mean, come on. Like, really? It's really not even close. MVPs. And then don't even get me started on defense, okay? Far superior defender. Far superior defender. And when it came down to clutchness, the very thing that actually matters, in my opinion, to being great, Michael Jordan trumps LeBron, and we all know this. So those are just my thoughts, guys. Like I said, hit me up in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm here for it. Remember to like and subscribe, spread the word, help the channel grow. I appreciate y'all. Peace.